Three claims about this man. I will prove all three, but not in the order I give them. The reason why is the whole story. 1. He founded a faith with no idol in it. Where the God should be, he put a book. 2. To carry it, he built an entire performing arts tradition. India did not recognize the dance form until the year 2000. 3. His final masterpiece was a woven cloth over 100 feet long. It left Assam, and the largest surviving piece now hangs in a museum in London. He lived 119 years. Outside Assam, almost nobody knows his name. If stories like this one should be better known, subscribe. That is the whole business model here. Now, the first promise starts with a schoolboy who had not been taught the alphabet. Born 1449 at Bridora into a landed chieftain's family. His mother died when he was small. His grandmother raised him. He did not speak for a long time, long enough that the household feared something was wrong with him. Then they sent him to school and it became obvious nothing was. Assam still tells this story. He had been taught only the bare consonants, not a single vowel mark, and he sat down and composed a devotional verse using only the letters he already had. Kurtal Kamel, Kamel Diel Neen, Brdrdan Gunran Shayan, lotus in his hand, eyes like lotus petals. Destroyer of the forest fire of this world who sleeps in the deep woods. Not one syllable in it needs a vowel sign. He did not wait for the rest of the alphabet. He built inside what he was given. Hold on to that line. It is not a compliment yet. It becomes one at the end. Assam already had performance, a form called Ojapali, a lead singer and a chorus, telling stories with the voice and the hands. He grew up watching it. What he did at roughly 19 was take that and build something enormous on top of it. Around 1468, he stages a production called Chin Yatra. He writes it. He composes the music. He carves and paints the masks. And he paints the sets himself, the 7 heavens on cloth panels unrolled in sequence as the story moves. Script, score, mask making, scenography, direction. One man, one production in 15th century Assam. Out of this comes Ankiya Naat, the one-act play. Bhaona, the all-night performance. Brigade, the sacred songs, of which 34 survive after a fire took the rest. And Sattriya, the dance of the monasteries, which India did not formally recognize until the year 2000. That is promise 2, paid first. And here is why it had to come first. At 19, he had no doctrine, no message, nothing to teach. He built the vehicle and then it sat empty for 20 years. He married. His wife died young and left him a daughter. He did not walk out. He stayed more than a decade, raised the child and ran the family estates. Remember her? She comes back. Then in 1481, he handed the household over and left Assam on foot. 12 years. He was not on a pilgrimage. He was running an audit. At Puri, he stood at the greatest temple in eastern India, in front of a door that decided who counted before anyone got inside. He saw the same door at Gaya, at Mathura. Everywhere he walked, the same arrangement, dressed in different local clothes. A rite you could not perform yourself. A specialist you had to pay. A queue you were sorted into at birth. He came back in his 40s with his mind completely made up. What he brought back was called Ekasarana. One refuge, one God, Kikasan, and nothing else. No pantheon to manage. No blood sacrifice, no fees, no specialist standing between a person and the divine, and no idol. His objection was not mystical, it was practical. Almost every elaborate ritual in India required a hired expert. From a caste, you had to be born into. Remove the ritual and you remove the middleman. What is left is a name and ordinary people singing it together in a room. But that leaves a problem he had to solve before any of it could work. The scripture was in Sanskrit, which meant putting it on the altar changed nothing because the village could not read it. So he put it into Asmiya, meant to be sung and heard rather than studied. And here is the part that gets him called the father of Asmiya literature, which he was not. A century before he was born, a poet named Madar Kandli had already translated the Ramayana into Asmiya. The language was ready. Somebody else had done that work and died without seeing what it was for. He read Kandlai I. He revised and abridged Kandlai's Ramayana with his own hands. He did not invent the tongue. He inherited it. He handed it the one book. That book reached every village hall in Assam. Then he designed the room for it. The Namghar, the house of the name. One long hall, no screen, no inner chamber, no hidden sanctum. Everybody sits on the same floor and faces the same direction. And at the center, on the throne, where every other temple in India puts an image, he put a book. Think about what that does structurally. An image needs a priest to bathe it, dress it, feed it, and guard it every day forever. A book needs one person who can read out loud. He took a hierarchy and replaced it with literacy. Around those halls grew the stya, the monasteries that still run Asmiya cultural life. Hundreds of them. That is promise one. But the men at the edge of that frame were watching their income get redesigned. Now the thing he built at 19 finally has a use. He was holding a doctrine that threatened the income of the priesthood, and he needed to reach a population that mostly could not read. He was a formidable debater. He also understood exactly what a debate is worth. A debate reaches the 6 men qualified to follow it. A night-long masked drama with drums reaches everyone, especially the people the establishment had already written off. So he stopped arguing with Assam and started performing for it. Theology delivered as spectacle, at night for free to anyone who turned up. He had finished the delivery system 20 years before he had anything to deliver. Now it had fuel. His most important successor arrived as an enemy. Madradar was a committed Shakta. When his mother fell ill, he set out to sacrifice goats for her recovery, which was completely ordinary practice at the time. He was not being cruel. He was trying to save his mother with the only method anyone had given him. Someone challenged him on it, so he went looking for Sankardeva to win the argument. They argued for hours over one question. Does the maker of life require you to kill life to earn his attention? Madradar lost. He gave up the sacrifice, the sect, and the life he had. He became the chief disciple and wrote the Namgosa, hymns sung across Assam every day since. He came to win an argument about goats and stayed to run a movement. Then he did the thing that made him genuinely dangerous. He opened the door, not symbolically, structurally. Kansai, a Muslim tailor, became one of his closest disciples. Gobind came from the Garo hills. Jint and Madhai were Meris. Weavers, tribespeople, and people the orthodoxy called untouchable all sat in the same hall. Same floor, same book, no barriers. And the priesthood did the arithmetic. Every ritual not performed was income gone. Every open door was authority gone. They stopped watching and started filing charges. The Ahom authorities moved first, and they did not move against him. They moved against his family. They executed a man named Hari, his son-in-law, the husband of the daughter he had stayed home for a decade to raise. That is what the movement cost before it had won anything. He took his whole community west, across the river, into the Kaur kingdom. The priesthood followed him there and brought formal charges before King Narayan. Heresy and the destruction of social order. He was summoned to court as a very old man to defend his life's work. He won outright. The king became his protector. The king's brother, the General Chilar I, became his patron. And that patronage paid for the last thing he ever made. Not painted, woven. The pictures are in the cloth, not on it. The traditional account says 12 master weavers worked a full year at Brapeta under his direct supervision. The finished piece ran well over 100 feet. They called it the Brandarni BSTR, the cloth of Vrindavan. Everything he taught compressed into one object, made in his final decade. He died in 1568 at 119. Soon after his death, the cloth left Assam. The evidence points north, traded into Tibet. And this is the only reason any of it still exists. In Tibet, it was cut down and sewn into a religious hanging. It belonged to a completely different faith, which is to say it survived by being useful to people. They had no idea what it said. From there, it went into European collections. The largest surviving piece is now in the British Museum in London. Smaller fragments sit in the Victoria and Albert and in Paris. People walk past it and read the label, which tells them it is a fine example of 16th century silk. A strange ending for the masterpiece of a man. He spent 119 years trying to make art that ordinary people could walk into. Except the cloth was never the masterpiece, and this is the last promise paid. The masterpiece is running tonight in thousands of Namghar across Assam, where people sit on the same floor with nobody above them, singing words he wrote in their own language, in front of a book placed exactly where an idol used to be. He never made anything from nothing, not once. He was given half an alphabet and he wrote with it. He was given a village song form and he built a theater on it. He was given a language nobody had trusted with scripture and he handed it the scripture. He built inside what he was given. If this story moved you, hit like, subscribe, and join us for more tales from Kathavana, stories that outlive time.